Hi everybody, welcome back to the All Things Good channel and to this week's video. How are you? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Happy Sunday morning to you. I must say I'm far more relaxed today than I have been all week. And this week's video is a teeny weeny one. It's just a little vloggy vlog because, well, there's a few reasons why. Because one, you've actually had a couple of weeks of some very long vlogs, haven't you? And you're probably still catching up on those because I've had a few comments say, gosh, Polly, that was a long one. One of them was about an hour long, wasn't it? Lots of adverts. So an hour becomes, I don't know, an hour and a half or something. And I would imagine most of you are falling asleep by the end of it. But this week's video is a little one, but not just because I wanted to have a little vlog. That really wasn't my intention. It's because I've been without my technical equipment most of the week. Stressful beyond belief. In fact, at one point, I didn't have a working telephone. I didn't have a working mobile phone. It was completely operator error. Yes, it was, completely. I got myself right in a pickle. My knickers were in a complete twist. Messed it all up. So I've had to go back to what I was originally doing. But I'm hoping that that will get resolved this week and I shall have some new technical equipment and all will be okay. But it did cause me quite a lot of stress, actually. It did, it really did. And it just goes to show how if sometimes you're without things you need, like a mobile phone, you realise how much you rely on them and how much you need them. So that was a bit stressful. We've had a couple of other issues go on at home that have been a little bit stressful. We're over them, that's okay. Nothing that can't be fixed. But you know, you just get one of those times where something happens and then something else happens and then something else happens. You're like, stop now. I've had my 3 in a row. Nothing else can go wrong this week. Well, it's been a bit of a one thing after another kind of week. And I have been incredibly stressed, I will tell you. But it's just a little vloggy vlog because I wanted to say hello, obviously. Didn't want to leave you without a video. And also, the last time I looked, which now will be yesterday to you, we're 4 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers. How good is that? And a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed. But don't forget, if you are a regular viewer and you haven't subscribed, please do. We'd love to have you on board as part of the All Things Good little lovely family that we have going on here. And of course, when I do hit the 2,000 subscriber mark, I'm going to do a little giveaway. And I'm actually going to do a little parcel of things. I'm going to do a little put together. I'm going to include some Sweet Bee Organics magnesium butter, which, if you don't know about, is just amazing. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous body butter that is really, really good for sleeping, and it's very, very good for menopausal symptoms, migraines, helping you sleep better. Oh, there's an array of things going on. And I absolutely love it, and it's quite expensive, but I've got a new pot, so I'm going to put that in, I think, a little basket. I might do a little basket of goodies, some sort of body things, some smellies, maybe a candle, maybe a reed diffuser. I've got a few things that I can pack up and make a nice little giveaway package for you. So when we get to 2,000 subscribers, once we've hit that mark, I will then decide how I'm going to do that giveaway and how you can win it. So stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. It would be lovely. Now you're just going to have to bear with me because I've just been shopping, so I'm literally just going to put my shopping away because I've had no camera all week, so I haven't actually filmed a vlog. I've done a couple of minutes of some packing that I have started to do, ready for my house move, but that's all the footage I was able to get until today. So here we are, we're practically in live time here. So you're just going to have to come with me for a little chat while I put my shopping away. But in terms of moving, that's been very stressful this week as well. And potentially we're about 2 to 3 weeks before what we were hoping would be the house move. But one party in the chain, although it's not really a chain, I'm so lucky, I've got first time buyers coming here and I'm moving to an empty house, so it couldn't be easier. And yet this has been going on since June, and there is one set of solicitors to one party who are just incredibly slow. I'm not particularly playing ball, and are asking some very silly questions. But never mind, we're doing our best and I'm sure we'll get there. It's just that we had all got a date in mind and everybody said, yeah, we're free on that day, that's fine. And then no one else other than me and somebody in the chain wants to commit to that date because they just want those little tweaks, those little questions finalised and answered before we go ahead. And of course, here we are in bank holiday. So a lot of the solicitors' offices now aren't open till Tuesday. In fact, we're not open till Wednesday. So we're losing a few days again, and the weeks are rolling around so quickly, aren't they, that it's all getting a little bit tight for my liking. And anyway, I hope we can meet the date that we do all have in mind. And if we do, I'm not actually going to know that date is set in stone for potentially another week, 10 days. And then if that date is doable, I have got one big rush on my hands to get this house packed up. But then I can't really start packing in too much depth now in case that date isn't achievable, and then we'll be living around boxes. So it's just, that's the stress of it really, is the sort of not knowing quite where we're at. Are we 2 weeks away, or are we 3 or 4 weeks away, or and it's a bit like that. So I've given this the bank holiday weekend, my weekend off. I'm not thinking about the house move. I am just going to have a bit of a rest because, yeah, I've been a little bit, I don't drink. If I did, I'd be on Nancy's gin and tonics faster than you could say stick a lemon in it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's get on with unpacking the shopping. I've just been to Waitrose actually, and tonight I'm going to do like a little bit of a sort of picky bits kind of tea. Do you know what I mean? Not in the mood for cooking. It's still quite warm, isn't it? Although the sun hasn't come out for us yet today, but apparently we're going to have a nice bank holiday Monday. So I've just picked up some bits. Now I do love Waitrose, and yes, they can be pricey, I know, and not everybody will go to Waitrose or would want to go to Waitrose. We have one practically on the doorstep, so it's very, very handy. What I love about our Waitrose as well is that it's really accessible for Nancy and the wheelchair. Everybody's very helpful. There's always a wheelchair trolley available. The parking is right outside the front door, and it's just super, super easy with Nancy. So that's why we tend to go once a week. On a Saturday, I take her out for her lunch and then we pick up a few bits and pieces. But I'm going to have this picky tea thing tonight. So I just wanted to show you what I've got, because I'm going to do some salad. So I got some little gem lettuce. Now these are lovely. I got some wild garlic baby potatoes that I'm going to warm up. And I got these reduced actually. These should have been £3.95, which is quite pricey, isn't it? Down to £2.15. So I'm going to put those. I've got some prawns in the freezer that I need to get out and defrost. I got some British Wiltshire cured breaded ham. They were 2 for £6. So I picked up 2 of those. I've got some lovely organic tomatoes. Look at those, don't they look juicy? They're so sweet, those ones, they're gorgeous. Love it. I've got some spring onions, proper good old salad we're having here, isn't it? And some Greek Kalamata olives. I am a fan of olives. I do love an olive, and I especially love an olive in a salad. I like an olive in a drink as well sometimes when I'm on my jollies, but I don't drink when I'm at home, so that's going in my salad. And this is gorgeous. Now, I don't have coleslaw that often, and I'm not a huge fan. If I have coleslaw sort of at a sort of an any time kind of thing, I like it on a jacket potato, or I do like it with a little bit of salad or something like that, but I don't buy it very often. But this, I've only been able to find this in Waitrose, so let me know if you can get it anywhere else. That's a noisy little aeroplane, isn't it? Would you believe in my little village we have an airport? We actually have an airport, and when the weather is lovely and dry, and especially at the weekends, you get all these lovely little private little planes flying over, landing in the little local airport. I mean, I don't know who these people are that own these lovely little planes. They're probably very, very well off. But they literally come right above the roof of the house. And it's like, oh, hello. Anyway, excuse the aeroplane. Talking about my coleslaw. This in Waitrose is called fruity coleslaw, and it has pineapple, peaches and mango in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Can you get that anywhere else? I haven't seen fruity coleslaw anywhere else. I've seen cheese coleslaw, I've seen, you know, the normal coleslaw, fat-free or whatever. This fruity coleslaw I've only ever seen in Waitrose, and trust me, if you like a bit of coleslaw, you want a bit of a different kind of thing going on with your coleslaw, that's a really good one. And I also got some flamed grilled chicken pieces, so it's going to be a bit of a mix-up salad. And I got these are Nancy's. She loves these cream caramel, but these are gorgeous ones. A little bit more expensive than the Waitrose essentials, etc., but they're absolutely gorgeous. Cream caramel, one of Nancy's favourite desserts. And I also got, because along with my salad, I'm going to do a cheese board tonight. So I got Waitrose Essentials British and French 4 cheese collection. That's lovely. That's my favourite. Brie. I do love a good French brie. And I got mixed grapes to go with the cheeses. I also picked this one up because, again, this one's Nancy's favourite, which normally she has at Christmas, but she picked it up today. So Wensleydale cheese with cranberries. Bit Christmassy, isn't it? Where's my cheese biscuits? I bought some cheese biscuits. Oh yeah. And then I bought the Essential Waitrose biscuits for cheese collection. They're really nice, actually. Really, really nice. So that's going to be tonight's tea, followed by, do you like a trifle? I love a trifle. I love a trifle. And this is not cheap. This trifle is about £7 or £8. But it is number 1 Waitrose raspberry and strawberry trifle in a light sponge cake, Madagascar vanilla custard finished with British cream. But I can honestly say, if you want to treat yourself to a nice trifle, and I'm only treating us this really because it's bank holiday, and I thought, why not? We've all been so stressed this week. Let's have a nice little tea. But this trifle is the best trifle in the world, apart from the one my mum used to make when we were kids. But the one that Nancy used to make had that much alcohol in, you did feel a little bit tipsy after your dessert. But this, next to Nancy's, is the best trifle I have ever had. That's our dessert. What else did I get today? Oh yes, I got some Dove soap. I don't use cleansing soap because it's too drying for my skin, but I do like a Dove soap in my shower. And I also picked up 2 Dove hand wash refill packets. These refill packets are great, far cheaper than buying hand washes just off the shelf, you know. And I've got the nice little hand wash holders in all my bathrooms and what have you, so I top them up with those, and I needed to do that, so I picked up 2 of those, and that's basically it, apart from some olive oil, some orange juice. Yeah, then I just picked up some essentials, some milk, some olive oil, some orange juice, some crisps. Nancy eats us out of House and Home of crisps, and I picked up a red currant jelly as well. And that is my little shop, just from Waitrose today, but predominantly just for our nice little summer salad tonight. And you know what? It's probably going to be one of the last times we have a summer salad. Do you know what I mean? It's starting to feel like summer is on its way out, isn't it? It is definitely on its way out. But that's what I've got today. I need to put it all away in the fridge. I need a coffee because it's been a good couple of hours since I've had one. Oh, no, I bought some makeup. Let me show you. Hang on. Now, this is my second attempt at buying makeup this week. Honestly, it really has been one of those weeks. I can't tell you. I've had my lot now. Hopefully my bad luck's over. But I bought some eyeshadow in Boots, and I got home, and God knows what had happened in between Boots, the car, and getting home. But it was smashed into 1,000 pieces. And you know, all, you know, like powdered, cube powdered eye makeup. The whole thing was all smashed into crumbs. I was like, great, brilliant, can't even take it back. So I picked up some new eyeshadow in Waitrose, but this is actually by Max Factor. And these are the colours I've gone for. So we're going a little bit autumnal, are we not? So we've got a nice sort of, they're almost a little bit shiny, but they're not too shiny, this Max Factor one. I have had these before. So we've got sort of whites, creams going into the more sort of stony colour browns and into the charcoal colours. But those are the colours I always seem to wear going into autumn. And when my makeup gets a little bit darker, you know, in fact today I've actually put a little bit of sort of blush on, you know, like bronzer a little bit. So I'm starting to head into these sort of autumnal colours. It's got that. Got myself a new Max Factor Kohl eyeliner. I do like a kohl pencil. How do you say that? Is it kohl? Kohl pencil. Got one of those, and I got some cotton wool for taking it all off. So hopefully I won't smash that one into bits. Right, I'm going to put my shopping away. So I'm going to put this away, and then we'll have a bit of a chat on our moment on the bed. Whilst before all my technical issues went completely wrong, I did actually manage to film a little bit this week of me starting to think about packing up the house for the house move. Now I've been looking at lots of YouTube videos and reading a lot about where do you start? How do you pack? What do you pack first? And the obvious thing really is to start packing the things you least use. Well, for me, that's pictures on the wall. So I thought that's where I'll start. I'll start taking down all my pictures, canvases, everything like that, and start to pack them up. And I've got enough room in the lounge that I can sort of stack them all up and leave them to one side. So apart from my bedroom, actually, I managed to do the entire house. I was very pleased about that. Every single one of my pictures in my house is hung with these command strips. Now you can buy these absolutely everywhere. They're fantastic. They securely hold all your pictures of pretty much any strength on the wall, and when you take them off there is no damage to your wall, and you can just rip off the backing on the back of your pictures with no damage to the back of your pictures as well. Now this particular picture is quite dear to my heart actually, and the frame itself came from the White Company. I bought it a few years ago, and about 3 years ago I got all these pictures of old Hollywood stars off the internet, copied them onto photo quality paper, cut them to size and made this little Hollywood collage. I was really pleased with it. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go in the new house, but pride of place. And here it is, my little collection of all the pictures around the house that I managed to pack up, and then neatly tucked away in the corner of the lounge, out of the way. Another tick, tick, tick. So here we are, having our moment on the bed. And what a funny old week it has been. In fact, you see these, you can only just see these two pictures above my bed. They're the only two pictures that I haven't wrapped up yet, because I wanted to do moment on the bed. How funny is that? So you might have moment on the bed with two great big marks on the wall next week or what have you. Anyway, just keeping everything crossed that we get this house move date set in stone pretty soon. It's been a bit of a process. I can honestly say, I don't really want to jinx it putting it out there in the ether, but I'm going to say it. This has been The most stressful house move I have ever done in my life, and I have moved house about definitely more than 10 times, probably not 20, but definitely more than 10 times in my lifetime. When I was married to Adam and Grace's dad, we travelled around quite a lot. So we did have quite a few house moves. And before I was married, I think I'd moved 2 or 3 times since I left home. And for all sorts of reasons, you know, I was down in London performing. I had to go and live there for a bit. I then had my own first little flat in Sutton Coldfield, somewhere it was. And I had a few little places before I got married. And then I moved around a lot then. And then since my divorce, I think I have lived in 5 houses. So, and I don't know whether it's just the world that we're in or the way you have to do things now. But I've never known it this hard. I really haven't. But I suppose I am sort of aware as well that there's a lot involved with this particular house move, isn't it? And I'm so emotionally involved with protecting Nancy as well, obviously. So I think that weighs on my mind a lot, more than perhaps the physicality of moving. I mean, I quite enjoy the sort of boxing up and decluttering and sorting things out, and I'm excited, don't get me wrong, I am very, very excited about the house move, but there's a part of me that is really sort of gut-wrenching about it, and not from a particularly negative point of view, but just from is everybody going to be okay? And of course we are. It's just my mind going over and over and over, and of course it's just the emotional aspect of it, because Nancy is not good at the moment. And I say at the moment, what I mean by that is the Alzheimer's dementia is progressing very, very rapidly. And she's not been on here too much recently, as you know, and it's because I just can't catch the moment. There's no conversation particularly, there's no in-depth conversation, there's not even a little chatty chat. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very difficult, and the short-term memory is dramatically changing, and has done over the past few weeks, to the point where we've been out to Waitrose today, we've done our little shop, we've had our lunch in the cafe, and we do that every Saturday, generally without fail, unless there's something else on, which is rare. And I've come home, and as soon as I've come home, put the shopping down on the table before I spoke to you, and settled her in her room, gave her a cup of tea, and she said, "Can we have some lunch now?" And we've just been out for lunch. But even so, that's, you know, an hour or so has passed between having lunch and her saying that. But even so, in conversation, I could be saying something now and then quickly just divert to something else and then come back to that. And within a minute or 2 minutes, you'll have no recollection of what we have just spoken about. We're also experiencing hallucinations. And that has been, I think, far more stressful for me, actually, than it has been for Nancy, because she hasn't been scared by it. She's just been confused by it. So we've had the presence, not an actual visual picture, but the presence of a man in her room. So whenever she goes out to the toilet or she comes out of her room, she goes back into her room, she opens the door very, very slowly and looks in, and she kind of looks in and she goes, I just think I'm sure there's a man in here. But then the other day we had a man sitting at her place at the kitchen table. And I can't tell you how much that affects me. I get sort of stopped in the moment. I almost can't think what to say. And I don't really know the approach. And you have to be so quick in the moment that I do not remember what I said on that particular occasion, but I don't know whether it's best to say, "Oh no, there's not, that's fine, just sit down, you'll be fine." and kind of poo-poo it a bit, or just say, oh, don't worry, he'll move, don't worry. It's almost like, do you go along completely with what they think they are seeing, feeling, hearing, visualizing, or do you tell them that they're incorrect, that there is nobody there and that's not what you're seeing? And I think opinion varies on that. My daughter, who's been a carer, she's not anymore, actually, that's another story, and has worked with dementia care patients, always says it's best to go along. It's best just to go along, especially if they're not scared. Just go along and almost turn it into a joke and go, oh, silly old thing, tell him to get out your seat. There, he's gone now. You sit down, everything's fine. And she does help me so much with things like that, and it's good to have that support. But yeah, things are changing very, very, very quickly, and they are going to continue to change very, very quickly. I am under no illusion. And again, I want this house move done as quickly as possible because I just want to be in, relaxed, let Nancy be. And the sooner that happens, the better, because there'll be a little bit of adaptation, a little bit of, making her comfortable. We're going to try and replicate her room as much as possible, so it feels and hopefully looks pretty much the same. I don't have too many concerns about that because she did adapt to moving here so well and so quickly. But things are changing so quickly that it's very draining to keep up sometimes. And I know from the comments I get on this channel that many of you experience this or are experiencing this, and it's a very different journey for everybody. It's in a very different journey for the dementia care patient themselves. Everybody's just so different, and she's forgetting people very quickly now. Not us, not the immediate people around her, but you can refer to an aunt, a cousin, a friend, a work colleague that you might speak about on a daily basis, and people that she knows, people that she's met, and then she'll go, who are they again? And when you've got a lot on your plate, I know it sounds selfish, but when you've got a lot on your plate, it's like, oh my, I'm so tired. I can't keep going around and around and around with this repetitive explanations all the time. And it sounds awful, doesn't it? But I think when you get to that point, I certainly know when I get to that point, that's the point that I have to go, you need a bit more rest, Polly, because you can't show that infuriation, I might say, is sometimes you can't let that take over you, because I've got to be completely in control. And her point of contact and her support every moment of every day, albeit, like I say, I've got huge support around me and wonderful partner and wonderful daughter. So we're okay, but things are changing, and I do feel a little bit stressed at the moment and a little bit overwhelmed, but it's okay. Things could be a lot worse. I have to remind myself that not only does she have Alzheimer's dementia, but she's 95 years old. I'm not dealing with someone that is 60 or 70, as many people are with that illness, which I think is far worse. I'm dealing with somebody that is very elderly as well. And, I have to take a lot of things into consideration, and I have to, just look after her as much as I possibly can. And that's it. That's the essence. If she's comfortable, happy, fed well, we're doing okay. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today because, it has been a very, very stressful week, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the weekend and have a big chill out. I've got to change over all my technical equipment, and hopefully I get it right this time to bring you a nice vlog next Sunday. So I hope you have enjoyed our chat today, and I hope you are doing well. And if you are in the UK, have a lovely bank holiday weekend, what's left of it, and whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good. I'll see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye.